You know what I'm looking forward to most with Arondir? His second expression. All right, so we are on to episode 2 of The Rings of Power, Adrift. Let's get to it. Hey, you know what? There was no actual intro in the last episode. Has she touched the dark yet to know where the light is? I mean, really, honestly, she should have known that that was a suicide attempt, right? You're in the middle of an ocean near where no one will sail, namely the Undying Lands, Tol Eressëa and Valinor, and yet you jump out into the water. That's a death sentence. Again, I'm still looking for that one thing that Tolkien wrote that's somewhere in this amazing, stunning, and brave TV show. Let's move on with the story. Let's see the grand things happening. We know that there's an evil back, but yet we're stuck with Poppy and whoever Weedy is here.
And anything bad that happens the next 3 seasons will be our...
It's definitely better when they don't say anything. I like Bear McCreary's music. You know what I'm looking forward to most with Arondir? His second expression. That looks great. That looks really nice. I like that.
They say that Morgoth found the Silmarils so beautiful that after he'd stolen them for weeks he could do nothing but stare into their depths.
Well, Grandpa Celebrimbor, I don't believe that's what Tolkien wrote about them. Why couldn't you have said that he hated the Silmarils, but their beauty burned him so deeply, and yet he could not release them? Such disaster and destruction wrought by something so beautiful. Wait, did he just say the Silmarils were petty works of jewelcraft?
The things we could use it to create could transform Middle-earth.
What seems to be the difficulty?
How will the things there transform Middle-earth? Please explain before you move on. I would like that. Well, hey, Tolkien never said that Elrond didn't have a best friend in Durin, right?
No.
I kind of like that they did a Mask of the Dwarves. That's a nice callback. If Elrond is a powerful and cunning politician, shouldn't he actually be a little bit aware of what Durin is doing here? All right, I will say that even though the show jumps around a little bit too much for my taste, the music does a really good job of preparing us for what's coming because it is so unique in each situation. Great themes. Did I miss the whole point where they were showing us sign language? Why are we in sign language now?
Corsairs prowl these waters. Do you want to be skinned alive?
Near the Valinor Corsairs? What? Okay, so we still don't have a primary conflict in this show, and we are an hour and 30 minutes in. We're 90 minutes in, and we still don't have the major conflict. There is no actual overarching conflict that we can sink our teeth into and value. Ooh, Halbro. Good Lord, why do I care about breaking rocks? Give me a reason for this ritual. Why? The whole point of this is to get Elrond entry?
The dog may bark at the moon.
But the early bird gets the worm. Okay, the last thing I wanted to see was the crying dwarf. Apparently, they were good buds, and Elrond ghosted him. And Durin doesn't know how to deal with his feelings, and so he's taking it out on him. Wow. Much as I dislike that the dwarves are used as the comic relief, it's actually done pretty well. This might be the best written part of the entire show so far. It endears you to them, and Disa is not bad. She doesn't look like she belongs, but her acting is fine. Okay, I know, I do hate the comic relief. Yeah, not well written.
Where there is love, it is never truly dark.
Another profound statement. This comes from people who have never read great books, who haven't immersed themselves in the stories of ancient tales, who haven't read Aristotle or Plato or gone into Shakespeare and Melville and Poe. You have to read a ton of great works in order to write well. Dude, put the light out. Strong female warrior kills the first orc. I'm a little tired of no one believing the bearer of bad tidings. Have we even seen one man fight yet? Let's stop with this farce that men are weak and women are the only strong characters in Middle-earth. In order to see the light, you must first touch the dark. Hal bro! I'd like to see the actual conflict that Galadriel is facing. Where is it? That has got to be the best raft ever. Something about this scene, it looks really fake. It feels like an old Star Trek, The Next Generation set or something. Doesn't feel right.
We use fireflies.
Those are some amazing fireflies. What? That is incredibly reminiscent of Gandalf speaking to the moth on top of Orthanc in the Fellowship of the Ring after Saruman captured him, after my least favorite part of the Fellowship of the Ring, which was the wizard duel there. But just the hand motion, I think, is a callback to that, which is sad because it reminds me of how much better that was, even though that was one of my least favorite parts of the film. Episode 2 in the books. And I don't feel like I know any of those characters any more than I did after the first 5 minutes of the first episode. It was kind of boring, not much going on. There was just a lot of exposition without much follow through. Galadriel so angsty in the entire show. There's no softness to her. There are characters that have a hard edge, but they have to be brought down. That edge has to be softened just a little bit. If you've watched Yellowstone, think of Rip, right? Man, that guy's a hard ass. He just like will do what it takes to see his commitments through. But man, then he's got this soft edge that you can't help but just love to like a little bit. And Galadriel has nothing like that. Everything is angst. Everything is something that's getting in her craw. She's got problems with every character out there. She doesn't trust anybody. How did she even become a commander if she doesn't trust anybody? I mean, probably the best character right now is probably Durin. I don't think I care about anybody else. I think just seeing his family, the kids in the helmets was nice. It was cute. It was just a little touch, right? Like 15, 20 seconds of something to show his, for lack of a better term, humanity, right? His ability, our ability to relate with him. And we don't see that with anybody else at all. Bronwyn and Arondir, Bronwyn and Theo, Galadriel and Halbrand, none of there's nothing there for us to glom onto and to recognize as something that we can invest in. Everything is trouble. Everything just makes you want to give up, right? Because you don't like them. Maybe even Halbrand, right? We're supposed to like Halbrand because he saves Galadriel, but I don't like Galadriel. I don't like Elrond. He pulled off the jerk move of not showing up for his friend, right? So let's see. Durin knew him for 50 years, and he didn't show up for, was it 30? I can't remember, 30 or 20. He didn't show up for too long, and Durin had a moment. He was going to lay into Elrond for giving up on their friendship. Why? Show us the friendship before telling us there's a friendship. Right? Show it to us. Break it, bring it back together. They were unwilling to do that. They just thought, we're going to tell you that they're friends. We're going to tell you that Arondir and Bronwyn are lovers. We're going to tell you that Galadriel is a strong female warrior and show you the one time that she wasn't in danger at all with the cave troll, snow troll. We're going to tell you that Gil-galad wants Galadriel out of his way. We're not going to show you how Galadriel comes up to Gil-galad and makes trouble for him. We're just going to tell you. We're going to tell you all these things. We're not going to show anything to you. So it's all exposition, and we got so much more of it. The closest thing we got to showing us was actually Meteor Man, probably, with his constellation, right? Because he can't say anything, so they can't tell us. He can't talk yet, so they got to show everything to us. It's an exercise in what they should have done in the rest of the show. They should have said, okay, if these people can't talk, how are we going to show them that they should be invested in this story and in these characters? But we don't see that. That's the critical side. Now, the Tolkien side, there is almost still nothing that I can point to that is directly from Tolkien's works, and we're 1/4 of the way through the show, 2 episodes in. I mean, they talked about Feanor, but even the way that they talked about Feanor, they didn't get the idea of like what the Silmarils were and what the destruction was and why Melkor took them. So Yeah, that's episode 2. What's the best part? Well, the music is still the best part. I like the themes that Bear McCreary has composed for the different races and the different places. It helps to separate it out. It's kind of a throwback to the older composers that would actually write themes for the different characters and the different races and the different locations in order to actually let us understand better, not just seeing it, but by hearing it, that this is a change. I love his music. He writes great themes. He writes great melodies. I'll definitely be listening to that. Durin's probably my favorite actor right now. I think Arondir and Galadriel are the worst actors. The hobbits aren't bad as hobbity as they could be. Disa looks like she doesn't fit, but her acting was okay. So those are my thoughts. Am I wrong? What did you like? What did you dislike even more than I did, or even less than I did? If anything I said that just didn't make any sense, this is my first watch through, so I may be completely wrong about something. Maybe I missed something, but put your comments below. I'll read them. And if you like this, go ahead and subscribe. I'd appreciate that, right? Let more people know that there are problems with this show, that this is not exactly what Tolkien was. Like my friend Dan, who hosts the podcast with us, he says, what you win people with is what you win people to. And we're not winning people to Tolkien with this, because it's not Tolkien. Like, subscribe, share. I appreciate it. And I will see you next week in my next fun review of The Rings of Power.